problem on the do now that a lot of us had struggled with. So these two problems, a lot of you struggled with. So we noticed that a lot of you got to this point. Cool, great. Like you found negative 5/11ths and you found 5/6. But we noticed that a lot of you thought this was x and this was y. This was x and this was y. Or the other way. This was y, this was x. This was y, this is x. Or you stopped here because you didn't realize what to do. Seniors, we need to stop being afraid of fractions. We are seniors in a calculus class. Stop being afraid of fractions. Yes. Stop being afraid of fractions. Yes. Yes. Okay? When you go out into the world, it doesn't matter what your job is, you're going to have to deal with fractions. You're going to have to deal with decimals. You will need to do something. Okay? Now, some of you are like, but how do I put this into your calculator? How do you put a fraction into the calculator? How do we put a fraction in the calculator? See? Don't make me call on somebody. We should all know this. We should all be yelling this out. Ms. Ravel, can you call on somebody? How do you put a fraction in a calculator?
What do you press?
Oh, is it
Alpha y equal. Good.
If you don't know that, you should probably, no, not probably, you should write that down. I know it's easy to forget, but please write that down if you do not know how to put fractions in a calculator.
We have been doing this since like, what, week 2? Gentlemen. Now, a lot of you stop here like, what do I do now? How do I put a fraction in a calculator? Everybody should be saying this. What buttons do you push to put the fraction in a calculator?
Alpha y equal.
Alpha y equal. And yes, you can have fractions over fractions. Okay? So make sure you're doing this. So I put 5/6 minus alpha y equal again. Negative 5/11. You can put in parentheses for the sake of time. I'm just doing that. 3 minus negative 2. And make sure you're using the correct buttons. The correct, I don't know what. Yeah, buttons. Because some of you are putting negative here when it should be a minus. Some of you are using minus for negative. Okay? And then when you hit enter, you get 17/66. Questions?
No.
Thank you, Daisy. So there should be no mistakes on problems like these. No mistakes on problems like these. All right, next problem that we noticed is getting a lot of wrong answers is the one that talks about the first. The first. Some of you start at 1. No, when we talk about the first something, it's going to be 0 through something else. Okay? Because we're talking about intervals. So it's going to be from 0 to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, blah, 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 blah. Some of you are putting 1. Some of you were just using 12. That's not what we're doing. Some of you are just using 12, giving me the answer of 5,100. That's not correct. Thanks. So make sure you understand this. When it starts at the first 12 seconds, we are going to start at 0. When it's the first 30 million seconds, what do we start at? 0. Thank you, Joaquin. Was that you? I don't know who said that. It was him, right? And then you just use the slope formula. Questions? All right, the last thing, make sure that you tell us what you still need help on level 2. We're going to collect this, so this way if you wrote down something, we can address it, and then we'll give it back to you tomorrow. Okay? So we'll give you some time to write this down. Ms. Ravello, can you collect it? Maybe? No? Can you collect the do now just so we know like what they need help on if they need help? When you are done writing that down, take out the example sheets Ms. Ravello passed out. We're going to go over level 3 examples. We're going to go over level 3 examples, then we're going to do level 3 practice, and then we have a 1 question exit ticket. We don't have notes today. She asked if you have gum. We don't have notes today, we just have practice because we're using the same process. We're still using the y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, the change of, rate of change. Change of y over the change of x. Are we ready? We'll give this back to you tomorrow. We'll give it back to you tomorrow. Or Mr. Lello, while we're doing notes, maybe you can read through it and see if anybody put anything down, and then we can get it at the end of class. Okay. All right, take out your example sheets. Language Lucero. All right. We ready? Okay. So as I said again, we're still going to be using the change of y over the change of x, which is just the slope formula, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So again, nothing new. We're just extending it to more rigorous word problems. Okay, example 1 says a rocket is 1.5 miles above the Earth in 20 seconds and 8 miles above the Earth in 2 minutes. Find the rocket's, sorry, I'm boring you, not sorry actually. Find the rocket's rate over time. Rate over time. Now, this is going to be different because these things will not give you a table. It won't give you a graph. You need to determine what the units are for x and what the units are for y. Using the problem, it says rate over time. Over implies that this is a fraction automatically. Okay? This is a fraction. So, bless you. It's going to be something divided by time. What is the units of time here?
20 seconds.
Are they both seconds? No, one is seconds and one is minutes. Do we see that? So we need to change this to be seconds. How many seconds are there in a minute? 60. So how do I find out how many seconds 2 minutes is? 60 times what? Times 2. What does that give me? We don't have to put it in the calculator. I'll just tell you 120. Okay? There will be times you need to change units. Okay? There will be times you need to change units. This is what level 3 is. Level 3 is making sure you have the correct units and using the rate of change to predict another value. So we have seconds. What is the, seconds. So then what's the other unit? Miles, good. Lucero, how do you know that? That's the only other thing. We have miles, we have seconds and minutes, but we changed minutes to seconds. Questions so far? Question? Are we sure? Okay, so we need to now create coordinates to use my slope formula. When we're talking about unit rate, the numerator of the unit rate is which coordinate, x or y? Hint, look at the formula at the top. Hi. Hint, look at the formula at the top. Y. So, miles is going to be y. So we're going to start with miles here. So then, 20 seconds will be what? X. Questions? Make sure you're asking questions now. All right, let's ask some clarifying questions. Why, Elizabeth, is 1.5 my y value? X value, sorry. Because it's distance then time. Very good. Distance then time. Excuse me. Questions? All right. So then somebody give me my next coordinate. Anthony. 20 and 2. Good try. But remember, we're talking about 8 and 2. Very close. Oh, wait. Hold on. So what does 8 stand for, Anthony? Like weight unit? Huh? Not minutes. Miles. 8 miles. And we said miles is what? Remember, this is y over x. Miles is going to be what? Y. So then it should be your first one or second one? Second one. Good. How many seconds then? What should be x? 120. Questions? Can't see that. Do you see that, Anthony? Okay. Oops. Can you see that? Okay. Now what do I do? Diana, what do you think we're going to do? Substitute it in. Yeah, plug it into the formula. So, this is going to be x2, y2, x1, y1. So 8 minus 1.5 over 120 minus 20. Any questions so far? All right, somebody put that in a calculator. Give me the answer. It's going to be a decimal, and decimals are okay. Give me the full decimal. 0.065. Okay. What would Joaquin be missing and not get full credit for? The what? The units. The units. What are the units? Miles per second. Say that again. If you put the 0, that's fine. 0.065. Questions? Questions? Okay. All right, let's look at part B. It says, using this information, find the estimated distance the rocket is after 1.5 minutes. Are these the same units that we have been using?
Yeah.
Are they?
No.
Very good. These are minutes and we're working with seconds. These are minutes and we're working with seconds. How can I transfer, or how can I change 1.5 minutes to seconds? What did we do here? What? It's not 30 seconds. A half a minute is 30 seconds, yes. 90 seconds. Yeah. What do you do to find it?
Take out half from this.
Yes, and then add it to 60. But what if it was like a weird number, like 1.975? What do we do? What do we do here to get the number of seconds? Multiply by 60. So we're going to take 1.5 and multiply by 60. So yes, it is 90 seconds. Okay? Questions? Now, guess what? We're going to go way back to freshman year. Maybe even 8th grade. And we're going to set this up using a proportion. So we know we have 0 or 0.065 miles per 1 second. So you need to make this into a unit rate as a fraction. Ivan. Any questions on how I'm getting that? Questions? Are we sure? Okay. This is proportion. What am I looking for? The distance. What unit is distance? What unit is distance? Miles. So we don't know what it is. What should go up there? Usually if we don't know what something is, what should it be? Nope. In algebra. X. Who said that? Jocelyn. Yep. X. When we don't know something in algebra, we usually put a variable. We're just used to putting X, but you can put any variable you want. Okay? So then what goes in the denominator? We need to find X miles for what number of seconds? 90. 90 seconds. Questions? No? Yes? No? All right, this is a proportion. How do we solve proportions? Huh? Divide? No. Need to do something? Yeah. Cross multiply. So we're going to cross multiply. So we have X is equal to, this is a point. Somebody put that in the calculator. See what you get. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock.
85.
You said 1.85? 5.85. Correct. However, this will not get you full credit. Why? Units. What are we looking for? Distance. That would be a unit rate. We're only looking for the distance. So just miles. Okay? Questions? So remember I said long ago that we are using all of the skills from 8th grade to junior year in calculus. You need to get over it. We're using all the skills. And if you don't remember it, that's why we're doing this. Okay? Questions? Questions? All right. I'm going to have them do number 1 on the back, Ms. Ravello. Together. All right. So then, flip over to the back. Flip over to the back. We're going to give you about 7 minutes to do problem number 1. Work in your group. 7 minutes to do problem number 1. Did Anthony go to the bathroom already? Oh, okay, yeah, sorry. Give me a second. Yeah. Yeah.
No, do number 1 first.
Yeah. Whoa, that just turned off, didn't it? Gentlemen, we should be working, not talking. Can you see it now? Yeah, number 1. I see a lot of annotating, good. Do we need to change the units in this one? Stephen? No.
I know.
Why don't we need to change the units? Because what? They're both the same. Very good. It's also in the word Christians. We could talk to our group at a level 1. Sorry. No. Where did you start? Okay. Don't forget units, don't forget units. Remember, it says we change up what it's yeah, so, yeah, okay. And time, meters. That would not be fully right. So, you have to find, okay, time will always be that, okay? So then, we need to make a quarter, right? So put the.
Nah, look pretty good though.
Which one is time? So that would be it. Okay, comma. And then this one will be that. Because, no, why?
I don't think.
That's why. Yep, okay, now we do the same thing for here. What's X, what's Y? Yeah, now then use the formula to do that, okay? Okay? You do the water? Alright, so, should be working on the one. We have about 2 minutes. Is at the end. Right there. Cover. Yeah. Oh, my answer. All right, seniors, let's look at the answer. If you don't have it down, make sure you write it down. %of the time, your X units will be time, okay? Because time is the independent variable, meaning that everything else depends on time. So you should have created these two coordinates and then use the rate of change formula to get 12.5 meters per second. You could write it like that or write it in words. Then you set up a proportion and get 25 meters. I didn't show my cross multiplication, but you can do that. Are there any questions of that? Brian? Right down. If you did not get it right, please make sure you're correcting it. If you need help, please ask questions. Are there any questions? Snaps or hands? Thank you, the board. Hurry. I'm just waiting for a couple more people to finish writing it down. Okay. Ready? I've got Brian next and then Jocelyn. Good? Okay, let's look at example 2. First of all, I made a mistake on this. I don't know why I wrote 4 twice. So please change this to just 4, and please change this to just 8. 4 and 8. My bad. I'm sorry. Okay. Ellie wants to buy a new video game console that costs $260. So she gets a job as a dog walker and earns $10 a day. The rules are she can spend whatever money she makes in a week. At the end of each week, whatever money she does not spend, Ellie's parents make her put all the money she earned into a savings account, which can't be spent after it's in the savings account. At the start of week 4, Ellie has $319 in her savings account. On week 8, she has $1,392 in her account. In the end, Ellie didn't spend any money. Find the average amount she earns per week. Per week. So, this per, what does this word imply? Does anybody remember? I've been saying this for 2 weeks now. What does this word imply? Division? Yes, that means division. I don't know if somebody said that, but it sounded like it, so yes. So just like the over, this word per implies, a fraction, okay? So what will be my x units and what will be my y units? What is the amount measured in? What's the amount measured in? Nope, not weeks. Yeah, what is this? How much she makes. So what is the unit though? Is it pesos, euros, pounds? Dollars. What? It's specific. Now, what is my x? What is x? The weeks. Brian, go ahead. I'll hurry up. Okay? So this will help us set up our coordinates. Remember, it's going to be x comma y. So the first one, we need to know how many weeks. So the first one, we need to know how many weeks. How many weeks so far? 4 weeks. Good. How much did she make in those 4 weeks? 319. Questions? What's the next one? 8 weeks. Very good. Now how do I solve this? Everybody should know how to do this. Substitute to what? Substitute into what? Steven. Diego, substitute into what? You don't know? Look at the top of your paper. What are you substituting in? Nope, not 60. David, what are we substituting in? This is what, if we don't know, we should be asking. Maria. Very good. Y2 minus Y1? Very good. So again, for those of you who don't know, 1, you should be asking questions. 2, write this down. So this is my Y2 and X2, Y2, X1, Y1. So I have 1,392 minus 319 over 8 minus 4. And when you put that in your calculator for sake of time, you will get $268.25 per week. What happened? What did I do wrong? Okay. Now, remember these are word problems, right? What fraction did you get?
1,073.
Wait, 1,000? 1,000?
Yeah, 1,073.
73 divided by 24. Oops.
4.
Divided by 4? Okay. Now, I know this gives you a fraction, right? But we can divide. We can do 1,073 divided by 4, and yeah. Okay? So for word problems, after you get that fraction, take that fraction and divide to get the actual answer. Okay? Because we cannot have fractions in word problems. Questions? Questions? Are we sure? Okay. Second question asks, do these amounts prove that Ellie could have purchased the new game console in any of the weeks between 4 and 8? So let's look. How much was the console? $260. What'd you say? Why? Very good. Yeah, Lucero. Yes, because the average estimated, now remember these are estimates, this is not exact because she could have maybe made more in 1 week, more in another week, okay, we're just averaging out. Yes, because the average estimated is greater than the original cost. Questions? Are we sure? All right then, on the back, work out problem number 2. No, not yet. Sorry. No, don't work out problem number 2. We're gonna go to example 3. Are we ready for example 3? Gentlemen, you need to stop. Okay. I'll zoom out a little bit so people who are still writing can see it. All right, example 3. It says the police have accused a driver of breaking the speed limit of 65 miles an hour. As proof, they provide 2 photographs. One photo shows the driver passing a toll booth at exactly 2 p.m. And the second photo shows the driver passing another toll booth at 21 miles down the highway at exactly 12:20 p.m. Find the average speed over this time. Okay. First thing we need to look at are the units. What are the units for this problem? What are the units for this problem? It is
Miles
just miles?
per hour.
Miles per hour. Where did we get that from? It literally says right there. So we know the unit rate. We know the units. So we have miles. What does that per mean? Division. So miles is going to be what coordinate? X or Y? Steven. How do we know it's Y? How do we know it's Y? It's not a trick question. Everybody, look at the top of the paper. Well, not just that. What is always in the numerator of your unit rate? Y. What's always in the denominator? What's always in the denominator? X. Okay, now this one's a little tricky. Steven, you need to stand up the rest of class. Stand up the rest of class, sir. Do you need a clipboard? Or are you good? Steven, stand up, sir. No? Then we need to stay awake. If I have to wake you up one more time, you're going in 118. Okay, this one's a little tricky. We need to figure out the amount of time that has passed, and we need to figure out a starting point. Do we have a starting point? Do we have a starting point? Does it tell us he starts at this many miles? Does it tell us that? No. When it doesn't tell us a starting point, the starting point will always be 0, 0. Okay? This is the origin. This is the starting amount. 0 miles and 0 time. Okay? Starting point. Now, remember that X is going to be your hours and Y is going to be your miles. Which one of these do we have automatically? The miles. So that's going to be 21. We need to figure out how much time has passed. How much time has passed between 2 o'clock and 2:20?
20 minutes.
20 minutes. But we need units in what? In hours, right? So we need to figure out how many hours this is. It could be a fraction of an hour, okay? How many minutes are there in a hour? 60. So to determine what fractional hour this is, we're going to divide by 60, and that gives me 1/3 hour. So then what is this going to be? 1/3. Questions? Questions? Okay, so now we have my x2, y2, x1, y1. So 21 minus 0 over 1/3 minus 0. And when you put it into your calculator, you get 63 miles per hour. Again, remember, you can have fractions over fractions. You can have fractions over fractions, which means that in your denominator, when you're putting this into your calculator, you will have to do alpha y equal again. Questions? Are we sure? We sure we're sure? Okay. So let's look at the question. The question says, does the photo evidence prove the driver broke the speed limit? No. Why? Why? I see a lot of heads shaking no. Why?
63 miles per hour, not 65.
Very good. The driver, so you would say no. The driver was driving under the speed limit during that time. Because we don't know what's happening before and we don't know what's happening after. So we have to specifically say during that time. Questions?
What was the speed?
Speed limit was 65 miles an hour. It's in the, see right here. You see it, Brian?
Yeah.
Okay. Questions? Okay.